Hi, I'm Dr. David Dobson. Welcome to Conversations. Today, my guest is Dr. Lam An. Lam is an assistant professor of marketing at the University of Winnipeg. His research interest focuses on marketing communications and persuasion. His research has been published and presented in journals and conferences. He received his PhD in marketing from the University of Central Florida. It's a great pleasure to have you with me today, Lam.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Your research focuses on marketing communications. Can you explain what marketing communication is?
So yes, I often tell my students and other researchers that everything is marketing communications, from dating, from if you're dating, you're communicating to your segments. But on a more serious note, marketing communication is any effort to convey information to a wider audience.
Mhm.
Um, Not including just persuasions, but to inform, to remind, to increase awareness. So from a marketing point of view, everything from branding, packaging, store, sign, online presence, activity, search engine optimizations,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
political campaigning. All of these are marketing communications, serving a purpose of either reminding, informing, or
Mhm.
persuading people to change your attitude or to take actions.
Great. What brought your interest to this area?
Yeah, I think this area is very interesting because not only is that I'm very sensitive. So my particular area of research is focused more on the nonverbal part of
Mhm.
communications, where previous research has shown that
Mhm.
usually nonverbal is ranging from 70 to 93%
Mhm.
of communication. So
Mhm.
people don't often
Mhm.
acknowledge how prominent nonverbal communication is.
Right.
I'm very sensitive to facial cue, body language,
Yeah.
and especially I think after COVID,
Mhm.
people have realized more how much we miss or how important nonverbal communication is.
Right.
Imagine,
Yeah.
they even invent a clear mask, the mask so that you can see your smile.
Yeah.
So for more than 12 million masks during the
Right.
pandemic,
Yeah.
or the body language of
Yeah.
people working from home has been very important to HR and managers and corporates.
Mhm.
So I like to research some things that I'm interested in and also
Mhm.
some things that have been overlooked mostly.
Right.
And
Right.
nonverbal communication has been an area where I believe are very powerful,
Mhm.
but other researchers have largely overlooked it because of various reasons.
Mhm.
But yeah, that'll be a very interesting research area.
What did you study for your PhD?
So yeah, my study was focused on nonverbal communications. I researched on the effect of different body language,
Mhm.
different nonverbal cues, including
Mhm.
facials,
Mhm.
body language, power expressions,
Uh-huh.
eye contact, smiling, all of these often spontaneous nonverbal cues, how they impact marketing informations, how they impact marketing communication, persuasion, and per se.
Mhm. And what did you find in your research in this research you conducted?
Yeah, so a few main findings from
Mhm.
my research so far is that um, people form a thin slight judgment of nonverbal communications, right? When you meet
Okay.
someone,
Yeah.
you form a first impression very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And that inform your attitude, inform your actions. It's less
Yeah.
than 1 second.
Yeah.
There have been brain study on how
Yeah.
quickly you
Yeah.
can imagine you are on a bus
Yeah.
and half the bus is filled and then you're finding a seat. What do you do first? You scan through the bus, you look at people's face, you try to find a safe place to sit in, and you pick one place. It's all that happened in a fraction of a second. You can't
Right.
explain how you make that decisions, but
Yeah.
somehow you always find a seat that you feel comfortable sitting in.
Right.
It's a natural evolutionary instinct that we develop as humans.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess during that time we are looking for cues, the body language cues from all the people in the bus and say that which is the safest place for me to
Yeah,
sit.
so if you think about human previously, it's a friend or foe triggering for survival, right?
Yeah.
You look at the face, you trigger whether this is the friend
Yeah.
or this is a dangerous person to stay away from. It
Yeah.
happened instinctively beyond our control.
Yeah.
It leads to a lot of bias, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
because when you judge people quickly on that thin slide, you don't get the
Yeah.
full information.
Yeah.
But it is more reliable. Also, in addition, we as human, our brain believe that nonverbal is harder to lie about.
Yeah.
So people can prepare a speech,
Yeah.
right? People can
Yeah.
change their script, get advice
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
what you say.
Yeah.
But the nonverbal part is something that is really hard to control. It's okay to control for a short period of time,
Right.
but over long, you cannot really control all your eye contact, hands. It
Yeah.
requires so much cognitive energy
Yeah.
that it will be
Yeah.
exposed. So
Yeah.
people believe that
Yeah.
it's more honest. It's
Yeah.
a more reliable queue of information.
Okay, nice. How would business use this knowledge, this nonverbal cues?
Yeah, so different ways, right? So first of all, try to feature a human face on your marketing communications. That's always
Okay.
my first recommendation.
Okay.
The brain is wired to recognize human
Yeah.
face
Yeah.
before image, before text, before anything, because of
Yeah.
the reason I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So for consumers whose attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter by the
Right.
days,
Yeah.
human face is a powerful cues to attract their attention, first of all.
Okay.
Second, be very perceptive about what
Mm.
you are trying to send a message there. Just don't think that it's just a human face, because
Right.
under a second, people form impression of your business, your spokesperson.
Yeah.
It depends on.
Yeah.
So there's research on a baby face during a crisis, for example. So
Okay.
during a crisis, having a CEO with a more chubby, baby, naive face actually
Yeah.
reduce people perceptions of the severity of the crisis.
Yeah.
However, when they want someone to fix it, they want someone who look more mature, per se. So you
Right.
have to depend on the context. On
Yeah.
LinkedIn, for example, you see that most people don't smile on because that has been shown to reduce their competence perception. When you
Okay.
smile so big, it's make you more warm but less confident. So you see on Facebook and on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, people who smile more on Facebook got more likes, but people who smile more on LinkedIn got less followers. It's
Right.
there's a data set and there's research to show that, and it's
Okay.
true. When
Yeah.
you want to show that you are competent leaders, confident,
Yeah.
you smile just a little bit.
Very interesting work
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did. So yeah, I think I want to ask you a follow-up question in a similar thought. What are the benefits of featuring human face in advertising campaigns?
Yeah, I think it helps capturing attention, and it help communicate an impression in a short amount of time, which is very important to marketers these days, because
Yeah.
marketers have sometimes 1 or 2 seconds to capture customer attention.
Yeah.
The world of advertising now is so stuck with information
Yeah.
that you need to stand out. So
Yeah.
you see a lot of brands, the CEOs appear, Papa
Yeah.
John in the past before all the crisis,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
CEO or the spokesperson, they use extensively.
Yeah.
And a lot of time you just remember about the brand because of the face of the celebrity, not the
Hmm.
content or anything. And you
Hmm.
form the impression based on your likability of this person.
Hmm.
Political candidate,
Hmm.
most people don't really read into exactly what promises you made on they are not reliable, as I said.
Yeah.
All the promise you made on the campaign is all well crafted by the whole platform.
Right.
There have been research that people make decisions on who they vote under 1 second by just looking at the face,
Okay.
because they trust their own intuition, saying that, okay, that guy seems trustworthy. They
Okay.
rely on their flaw instincts
Yeah.
to make a decision instead of reading
Yeah.
a well-crafted statement on social media, for example.
Right. Yeah.
So it increased reliability of the information, it
Okay.
increased attention within a short time span. I think it's a very powerful and underused tools.
Okay. Okay. So why do you think people are not showing their faces more often on those campaigns or on those advertisements? Like why is there a
They
reason?
are, they
Yeah.
are. In
Okay.
fact,
Mm.
actually, more than 50% of advertisement in the US features some kind of human face.
Okay.
If you look at real estate agent is biggest
Yeah.
example
Yeah.
everywhere. Political campaign on lawn signs.
Yeah.
The problem is you need to
Yeah.
show the right face. per context. So it's more of a careful curation. People do show their face.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not nicely captured. Sometimes they send a wrong signal. Yeah. So, but it's also very risky, right? Because when you associate a face with a brand, when that face, the domino, the subway, or the brand crisis that we have seen, it came back to the brand. Because if that person commits something wrong, it's associated with the brand. So it's also a double-bladed knife that you have to be careful with. Also, one more thing I want to add is that it builds social connections with the consumers. It's just not a message. You put a face and a human touch to a message, to a brand, right?
So are you talking about like the brand ambassador or the spokesperson for those companies?
It can be anyone. It can be anyone. It can be a spokesperson, a brand ambassador, executive. More and more that you see the executive, the company are showing. Even in after a crisis, always you see a executive coming out and say apology. What they say doesn't matter as much as how they show, because of course you will say you're sorry. Of course you say you'll fix it. Everyone says the exact same thing. It's how sincere you feel is from your body language, which people are paying attention to.
And do you think also because of the recognition, people start associating that person with the brand? Like I'm thinking like KFC person.
The Colonel always there. Colonel always there. It become associated with the brand, and whatever the spokesperson display is, they will forget about the spokesperson in a minute. But everything that they take from the spokesperson is gonna be attributed to the brand themselves.
In your teaching, you often involve your students in various hands-on class projects. Can you share some of those projects and how they benefit your students?
So the project is, I'm always passionate about hands-on learning, experiential learning. And I think it's very important, not only that the student can apply the knowledge into practical skills, but I think one thing the student likes these days is exposure to employers. So the employers, when they hire the students, they have no idea what they do in the classroom. This way, you are bringing in your employers, potential employers, into the classroom. Technically, you are helping your student get 50. If a class has 50 students, you are getting 50 interviews. And the employers can help, pick the best performing students, hire them, and it has happened in my class.
Nice.
So what I usually do is to get nonprofits, mainly nonprofits, because they are the one who usually lacks the resources to perform marketing functions, into my classroom, and we do a semester-long projects advising them on brand awareness, how to attract more customers, improve product quality, improve communication strategies. Those are the most common questions. So we do everything from focus group, background research, survey research, data analysis. So every chapter the student learn, they immediately apply into that part of the projects. And at the end, they present the entire projects to the clients as a judge at the end of the semester. That way, they can showcase their skill to the employers. Second, they have a tangible products to bring to interviews. So at interviews, they usually ask you tell me about a time when you have a problem, how you solve it, or do you have any tangible takeaway? They usually not. They usually say that I had great communication skills, they had great analysis skills, but they have nothing to show for it. But now they have the whole project print out nicely, professional. You can walk the employers through every step you learn and solve the problem. And usually I've learned that it helps a lot in the employment process. And students have been hired directly by the clients after. Second, it benefits the community. It's benefit the community at large, because they are getting help from the students, and that's what the mission of the university should be, is to help the community around us. And this semester we are working with Special Olympics Manitoba, for example. People with intellectual disabilities. We are helping the vulnerable populations gain more awareness. It's a win-win for both sides, where the student doing something meaningful and learn and get jobs, the business gets some free expert advice from trained students. So
which makes sense, because if you go ahead and hire some professional company, they're going to charge a lot of money, but
they don't have that resources. They don't have that resources, and they would not.
And how does are these organization approach you, or how that work? Like how they know that you're available,
It
is
goes both
available?
ways. It
Okay.
goes both ways. So I just
Yeah.
moved from the US to Winnipeg 2 years ago. So of
Okay.
course, then first, like a brand awareness, I have to reach out to people, but people
Okay.
usually respond very positively. They
Okay.
would like to work with students. A lot of them are alumni of the university, so they want to pay back as well.
Okay.
After a few companies, after a few successful scenarios, people start
Okay.
knowing, about the class, about the projects. They start reaching
Okay.
out. In the
Okay.
last semester, we received like 10 or so requests.
Oh
We
wow.
cannot do all of them, but we also delegate to other classes. So we have other
Okay.
classes like digital advertising or customer behavior,
Okay.
depending on the nature of the research question. Hence,
Okay.
I can ask other colleagues in my universities to work
Right.
on those instead. I focus more on marketing research, which is my
Okay.
forte.
Okay.
But yeah, we have gained reputations,
Okay.
local media features on our
Yeah.
projects, and
Yeah.
more business, and we hope we are making an impact in the community.
Yeah. Well, this is great, Lam. Finally, do you have any advice for students who wish to pursue research in marketing communication?
Yes, so this is an up and coming area for sure. Even though we feel that marketing communication has been around for so long, but with new age, new
Yeah.
communication
Yeah.
channels,
Yeah.
social media, everything.
Yeah.
Now we have AI.
Yeah.
We have so many opportunities. So the
Right.
first area of research I would recommend new researchers to look into is artificial intelligence, AI, customer interaction, so chatbot,
Okay.
voice speaker.
Okay.
How do people perceive chatbot, voice speaker
Yeah.
as communication? How perceive warm competence, the things we just talked about,
Uh-huh.
lack of also lack of sometimes lack of nonverbal communication skill as well, because these are just voice, right?
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah.
So AI human interaction is one area. The second one I believe is very important is disinformation. So
Yeah.
marketers have always tried to develop communication to persuade people.
Uh-huh.
How can we develop intervention to prevent people from being persuaded
Yeah.
by disinformation,
Yeah. Yeah.
misinformation, verify more information, develop
Yeah.
digital media literacy?
Yeah.
I think this is crucial. I believe that is the biggest human problem right now.
Yeah.
Is when we have fake video. You can do an interview with me even without me being here. I mean, technically, you can
Yeah.
put everything I say.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm
Yeah.
here, by the way. I'm real. But it could have been created entirely from AI. So that is an area that I just started doing my research in. I have some upcoming research presentation about fake news, disinformation
Okay.
in area like politics and finance
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
advice I have for upcoming researcher
Yeah.
is not about the area, but develop your tools,
Okay.
develop your toolbox. The more tools you have, the more area of research you can dive into,
Yeah.
especially marketing communication.
Okay.
So we talk about how communication is rapid response, fraction of the second.
Yeah.
Self-report survey is no longer sufficient in capturing such information. You cannot ask people to think about how they
Yeah.
perceive the face they saw 5 minutes ago. It's not
Yeah.
real. People might not even know what they think.
Yeah.
But now with biometrics tools like eye
Yeah.
tracking, emotion capture, neuroscience, facial recognition, VR tools to capture these, you can capture it in real time beyond the consciousness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to learn about these new tools, to apply these new tools to research and to capture real-time customer informations
Yeah.
is the way to go. You cannot rely on survey information forever.
Yeah.
So those are the three things I would say to new
Yeah.
researcher in this area.
Thank you for your time, Lam. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.